good, everybody? We have actually finally an official response from Neverness to Everness devs themselves regarding the AI usage in their games. As we all know, this all kind of came to a head, massively so, when Ironmouse was on her stream and she publicly said that, hey, listen, yeah, I uninstalled that game, I canceled my sponsorship with NTE because they lied to me about using generative AI in their game. And of course, we all saw the images. We all saw the heist clips. We all saw the billboards of the generative AI. And we were like, well, there clearly is AI in the game. Maybe not to a massive extent, but it definitely still exists. And it's kind of sad to see that in a final released product, especially when we see the company was kind of bragging about making back a third or half of its, development cost in the span of a couple of days, right? Like, that definitely rubs salt on the wound to that kind of stuff. So let's go take a look at the responses right now. Dear appraisers, thank you for the feedback. It matters to us. Neverness to Everness is built on human creativity. The characters, stories, and world you experience are the work of artists, writers, and designers. AI-assisted tools were used only on a small number of background and environmental assets, not on the characters or stories that define this game. We're already reviewing and reworking the flagged assets, Clear Skies in Summer, and Pink Paws Heist. Your feedback shapes this game, so please keep it coming. We're listening, and we're committed to delivering the quality you deserve. Sincerely, the NTE team. Now, I have a few things with this. They're basically admitting right up front, we're used on a small number of background environmental assets. That's on its final release. I just want to break through this political corpo talk and just see what they're actually saying. AI-assisted tools were used only on a small number of background environmental assets. That was released in the final game, but they are not disclosing the AI-assisted tools in the development of their game. Make sure that we're all understanding that, okay? They're probably using way more. We definitely saw, like, AI tools being used on character designs in the early days. We've all seen those images, but we know from the final release that it is, the background assets, environmental stuff, the trailers, the billboards, the movie trailers, the billboards, and that kind of stuff. So don't think that, oh, that's the only thing they used it for. No, they've definitely been using it for other stuff in its development as well, but they're not disclosing that here. So just bear that in mind. This isn't them saying that, oh, we don't use AI. They do. Devs listen moment, but we'll see if it matters. Everyone's been talking about it. Even Asmongold himself, yes, the Bold Roach King, has been talking about it himself. And I had a chat about this clip with my stream earlier. I'm going to play that for you right now, and y'all can go see the conversation that led from this.
AI is going to be used with everything. Every company is going to be using AI. There's not going to be a company that isn't using AI. I mean, for example, Ironmouse has YouTube videos, right? Like, let me see if I can just pull up, I'll give you an example. Right? You probably have, if you go through this, you can do, there's a transcript, right? And all this is transcripted.
Do you know what I think? I think, I think it is inevitable. A lot of things is gonna become AI prone, but I think it's gonna become AI is gonna become so involved into everything that there's going to be a large community of people who are very much like purists who advocate for non-AI stuff. And I think there'll be a lot of successful companies who are built on the back of not being AI. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's inevitably everywhere, but I think because of that, there'll be a rise of people who specifically like vegans, for example. And then you had the rise of veganism, and then vegan options everywhere appeared because enough people chose that lifestyle. I feel like you'll have a lot more companies that will pop up that people will support because it's not AI at the same time. Their main selling point is going to be, we don't use AI.
Like this is done with technology, right? It's done with some form of AI. Same with, like subtitles and everything like that. And you have all of these instances of people that are basically fishes complaining about water whenever they're able to perceive it. But I think the reality is that we're totally surrounded by AI. AI is part of our everyday lives already.
Also, another point, AI is still not profitable for the companies that are making the products. The only people that profit from AI are the ones using it, not the ones that make it. AI is not profitable. OpenAI is ChatGPT. That's not profitable. Claude, not profitable. Grok, not profitable. They do not make money. They lose so much money. They're burning money right now. The only people that make money are the ones using the product. So that's really important, because if it never ends up making money, we're gonna slowly see like a ramp down in their usage.
Like if you're using Twitter, your information and what you're typing and saying is being fed directly into Grok, for example. And so there's nothing that you can really do to get away from it. So drawing these imaginary lines in the sand about AI doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because how can you have a platform and have an internet presence on a platform that, you know, basically is being used for AI generation? You're uploading content onto a platform that is, you know, actively using your content for AI generation. They're obviously doing this, like, duh.
Oh, this is this is a silly take. Oh wait, no, wait. Oh shit, no, this is a silly take.
And so, but you're going to draw the line at.
Oh no, oh, this is such a silly take. Okay. People didn't choose to use Twitter or like social media and was like, yes, I want everything, therefore I consent to everything being AI. That's not what happens. We use these platforms first, and then all the data got used for AI. It's the other way around. So doing this thing of like, oh, you use Twitter and you have social media and you upload videos, so if you're happy with that, you should be happy with the AI that's already happening, you already partake in it. Like, motherfucker, people didn't have a choice. People didn't have a choice. It's like, oh, I'm an unwilling participant in this machine that I now have to like bear with, because it's become, this machine's become part of society, and you can't just like take that away from people and be like, well, you're using it, so therefore you should be okay with this other stuff. This is so weird. That's such a weird take. It's like, yeah, it's like saying anti-capitalists are hypocrites. Yeah, it's like saying if you're an anti-capitalist, it's like, well, if you're an anti-capitalist, why did you go and buy that Diet Coke from the shop earlier? What? What? You can't blame people for having to exist in the systems that we have no other option to be a part of. Especially if you're a content creator. Especially if you're a content creator, you're Ironmouse. You use social media. It's your job. You have to. You know? This is such a weird ass take from Asmon.
A video game making an AI billboard. There's no logic to that. You see what I'm saying? I've played AI video games before. I've been a pretty big supporter of AI. Like, I use AI on my stream. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty big advocate of AI, if you want me to be honest. It's cheap virtue signaling. Well, what I want, this is what I want. I want a list of every creator that's going to virtue signal about how bad AI is. And I want to wait 5 years. I want to wait 3 years. And then when Twitch integrates AI, because you know they're going to do it, they're going to integrate AI themselves. And then when other things integrate AI, I want to ask them, is AI good now? Do you support it? But the reality is that I think with a lot of people, they are more than willing to say that this is bad when it is of no cost to them. And I think that, again, like, she is not taking a sponsorship, but I think there's a secondary reason for that they literally lied to her.
I think he is purposely being obtuse. I think he's purposely being obtuse to what people's criticisms were of it in the first place. Because people's criticisms of NTE were the use of generative AI, not AI as a tool. That's very different. He's purposely reframing the argument to attack it That's not the argument people are putting forward. People aren't like, oh, we're anti-AI everything. People aren't necessarily against AI as a tool to make more efficient workflow. They're against generative AI as a final product of a video game, right? That's what people have an issue with. If you are a consumer who is buying a video game, or it's a gacha where you're likely to spend money, or you're paying for a product, most people would like to think that the human had touched a lot of the assets in the final product. And to have things that are not made by people, but AI as a final release, feels a bit lazy. And I think people are justified in thinking that's kind of shitty, when these are games that bragged about making a third of its development cost in its first day, right? So Asmongold is purposefully reframing the argument to be like, so when all these other sites use AI, you're gonna be hypocrites. No, motherfucker, that's not what people are mad about. Yeah, it's a straw man. If you just ate a wonderful meal and then you were told it was cooked by AI-powered robot trained on cooking vids, does it make the dish and enjoyment less valid? To some people, it might. Do you know, it matters to the people that care. But it still tastes just as good as from human. Okay, you trick a vegan into eating a steak and they enjoy it. You say, oh, it's fake meat. You trick a vegan into eating a steak and they end up enjoying it. Just because they enjoyed the steak, are they now a hypocrite? Do you see how the logic kind of falls apart? Right? Do you see how the logic falls apart? Okay, they might end up enjoying the taste of the steak. But that doesn't mean that they want that. And that's the thing that they advocate for. Or like that they like. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So just because like you tricked someone and it was an AI-powered robot and you enjoyed it, but that doesn't mean that that's what they want. They're not actually vegan. You could be vegan and like the taste of steak, but you just don't want the steak. That's the point. Yeah, it's about consent. Again, everything in life goes back to consent. Is this an ethic you consent to? Is this a way of doing things you consent to? Are you consenting to having your data used? Like, it's all about consent. I mean, coming from the opposite side, if I'm enjoying a machine-made food, crisps, potato chips, and etc., what really is different? Okay, the difference is you don't give a fuck where it comes from. That's the difference. If you can't tell the difference and you don't care, guess what? You just don't care where it comes from. Live your best life. Right? Like live your best life. But there are people who do care. The same way there are people who are vegans. The same way there are people that are vegetarians. They're the same way that people that buy organic food. The same way that people will buy non-GMO food. The same way there are people that eat foods that don't have seed oils in them because they don't want to. That's like the point, right? Like being in a free society is giving people choices of what they want to consume. I really hate this argument of like, oh, but you'd enjoy it anyway, so you'd be a hypocrite. No, people could care about how stuff is done. Being subjective is dead to these people. It's like, no, you will have AI and you will like. You have AI. I guess, guys, I'm black-pilled. I'm black-pilled on AI. I'm massively black-pilled on AI. I think it is inevitable, but I want people to have a choice. Ding, 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 ding.
I want people. Oh fuck.
I want people to have a choice. I want people to have a choice of where this stuff's made. Okay. Just for fairness, just because you care about where your products come from doesn't mean you're a good or bad person. Let people live. It sounds like you're a little bit insecure. I never said it made you a good or bad person. That's not what the conversation was. I never said that. Nor did I ever imply that. Because I think there is a discussion to be had here about AI, because I think, while I am black-pilled on AI, and I do think it's inevitable, and thus I want regulations and way to manage, how it's used in the world, There are some people who don't care, and that's okay. I am glad that the devs are trying and they want to make their game better, because I think they're losing a lot of the Western player base that are speaking up against this. And you could say that there was a lot of virtue signalers and they actually don't care and they'll still be playing regardless and whatnot. And maybe that could be true. Maybe it won't make a dent at all in their revenue. But I think for the sake of, like, you know, you don't really want that bad press regardless. But I still think this game is going to be okay. I don't know how, like, you know, the East feels about AI. I haven't seen anything about how, like, JP or China or Korea or any of the East Asian countries think or feel about the AI usage in this game. I have no idea if the reaction has been similar to the Western one or not, or if this is a uniquely a Western experience. So if you know, let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're from and what the current consensus is, because I'm very, very curious. But I appreciate y'all. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.